instituted a legal team to study the force of Article 83, subsection G of on the expelled members with a view to establishing if they can be removed from Parliament, since the party under which they were elected has withdrawn its backing. The NRM Chief Whip, Justin Kasule Lumumba, has warned all NRM MPs to take note of what has happened to their colleagues and start taking decisions taken collectively seriously. She has advised the four MPs to apologize and be readmitted to into the party, offering to mediate on their behalf. The Chief Whip was the main complainant who referred the four to the disciplinary committee, incidentally. Now, the mainstream opposition is backing the expelled MPs, saying that the NRM is victimizing them. But the NRM party has insisted that this is expected from the opposition, which would want to capitalize on this trouble spot inside of the NRM party. So tonight we ask, why are the expelled MPs petitioning the Speaker now in regards to Amama Mbabazi and the Chief Whip? Also, should they retain their seats in Parliament, even after the party they were elected under has rejected them? Should the opposition be rejoicing about this misfortune in the NRM, or focus on putting its own house in order together regarding to party discipline? Our guests tonight, Hon Wilfred Niwagaba, Ndorwa East MP, one of those who are expelled from the NRM party. You're most welcome, Hon Niwagaba.
Yeah, thank you, Edmund. Good evening, viewers and listeners. I'm glad to be back.
Yes, welcome back indeed. Viewers, because we're also on the internet, you can get a video of Spectrum off YouTube. We're also joined by Hon James Akena, Lira Municipality MP from the Uganda People's Congress. You're most welcome, Hon Akena.
Good evening.
And congratulations on getting yourself, well, finding your rib eventually.
Thank you very much.
We're also joined by Hon James Kakoza from the Kabula County. He's the MP for Kabula County from the NRM party. You're most welcome, Hon James Kakoza.
Thank you very much, dear listeners and viewers.
Yeah, Honorable Niwagaba, talk to us about the essence of this petition to the Speaker. What is it?
Yeah, I think that's one thing I need to first clarify. One, on the 9th of April this year, that is almost a week before the NRM expelled us, that's me, myself, Honorable Sechikubo and Honorable Tinka Simile, did not petition the Speaker. We wrote to the Speaker requesting her to refer our complaint to the rules, the Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline against our colleagues in the Parliament, that is Honorable Justin Kasule Lumumba and Honorable Amama Mbabazi, on the following grounds. One, the two used the parliamentary hazards to refer a complaint against us to the NRM Disciplinary Committee, stating these three facts. The first fact was and is that the three of us disrupted the Speaker during the oil debate, particularly when the government was committing clause 9 of the bill. The second fact is that during the debate on the budget, we opposed the government position on the health budget, where we were insisting that the health workers need better remuneration and more staff by over-recruitment. The third and the most strange one is specifically against Honorable Sechikubo, that during the oil debate, he raised an issue of quorum, that Parliament had no quorum to proceed with the business, and that as a member of NRM he shouldn't have raised the issue of quorum. So, under the Parliament Powers and Privileges Act, a law which was made by our colonials in 1958, which has never been amended, members of Parliament have specific privileges and immunities, and the basic privilege and immunity is the freedom of speech to air your views within Parliament. And under that law, you cannot be subjected to criminal or civil proceedings for whatever you say in Parliament. And whoever infringes that right that immunity, that privilege, and happens to be a member of parliament, under our rules of procedure of parliament, you have a right as a member to complain to the speaker, which speaker is required to study your complaint and forward it to the committee on rules, privileges and discipline, which will investigate, and once it completes investigations, it makes its report. So we have not petitioned the speaker following the expulsion by NRM, because as a matter of fact, that expulsion, we also read about it in the newspapers. The Secretary General has not written to us, no text message as they claim. Of course, what we normally do, what even throughout this process, the only service you would get is a newspaper advertisement, particularly in the New Vision. So we've not petitioned the speaker because we've not read anything in the newspaper yet as an advert from NRM, other than the communique he read to the press. But what we petitioned to the speaker was on the 9th April, and specifically in respect of a complaint against the breach of our immunities and privileges as members of parliament.
That's a very good clarification. But talk to us a little bit about the rules. What happens to a member who breaches those rules? You made it very clear.
Yes. When a member is in breach of the rules, either the House on its own motion, the House can be moved with the guidance of the Speaker to refer the matter for breach of rules to that committee, or you complain to the Speaker as we did, and the Speaker refers the matter to the committee. Now the committee carries out investigations, summons the complainant, summons the accused, they can even seek expert evidence from professors and whatever. Then it finally comes up with a report, which report is tabled on Parliament and the floor of Parliament, and it is debated. But once it comes up with a report and the members are chosen concede, then it need not be debated. So we are waiting for that process to take place.
Do you expect that very briefly? Do you expect that process to take place?
Yeah, we've complained as members of Parliament. We hope our complaint will be worked on by the committee.
Honorable James Akena, when can a legislator be removed from Parliament?
Let me just tie to this particular issue. We have had this debate, or this issue came up in the 8th Parliament, and it was specifically with the Forum for Democratic Change. There are two members, Honorable Betty Kamya and Honorable Onzima.
Alex.
Yes, the FDC had their difficulties. They proceeded to a certain point, and it reached an extent where they realized that they could not, I'm not a lawyer on this one, but they could not remove them from Parliament. So both of them served till the end of their term. It is only on a separate case of people who crossed, and the crossing actually came at the time of nomination. Those who were formerly independent and then took up party nominations, or those who were in parties and then took up independent nominations, after they were nominated, that is when they were to vacate their seats. So at the end of the 8th Parliament, I think about 20-something members were affected. Those who were independent who had joined parties, those from parties who had gone independent. That was the only time where we've had it. So if we take that as a precedent, I think our colleagues at the moment should be safe until...
No, I can add on that. When Parliament in 2005 was amending the Constitution, government brought two bills, Constitution Amendment Bill number 3 and number 4. Now, one of them, I think 3, I don't have it right now, was to affect Article 83 on how a member of Parliament ceases to be a member of Parliament. And one of the grounds government had brought was expulsion from the party. Now, the committee of Parliament then, a legal committee chaired by the current Deputy Speaker, came out with a report rejecting that particular ground of expulsion for obvious reasons that it would be abused, among others. Parliament debated it and unanimously approved the committee's report and rejected that particular ground. Now, government, because the President had wanted actually the powers to dissolve parliament, and they had failed to get it. They wanted again to come to bring it back. So they attempted to recommit that particular clause. Now, when they attempted to recommit that particular clause, because I've read the whole Hansard and the committee report and everything, the members, one of the members, I think, Honorable Wanyazache then, said we also recommit Article 105 on the term limit. They realized they were in a catching situation and abandoned it. So Parliament pronounced itself and rejected expulsion as one of the grounds for vacating the seat.
Honorable Kakoza, what does Article 83G say?
Article 183 it says, if that person leaves the political party for which he or she stood as a candidate for an election in parliament to join another party or to remain in parliament as an independent member. I think we need a constitutional interpretation there. But to add what members said, because I was in 7th Parliament, and the spirit of multi-party setting which we are going to join in, because that's when we are amending, we said that as the Constitution stipulates, any member of Parliament to vacate a seat, you must, it's stipulated within the provision of the Constitution. Either you are saying, but what about when you are in a multi-party setting? What should we put? Then by then, there was a provision which is brought by the government side. We said no. If any person,
which provision was that?
Expulsion. The expulsion. We said no. A member to join a party is a free choice.
Yes.
And really, with the current situation with the environment with the parties, it can be stand to be abused. But also, the party has a mandate on a person, and that's why in the Parliamentary and Elections Act, we said if any member in a party which has a constitution and in a party which is registered under Electoral Commission, it must flaunt its constitution, because any party registered flaunts its own constitution. So the discipline, everything should be done within the party itself. For a member to be just recalled, the constitution, we didn't touch that. And we said no, members, well, there is a dilemma there, there is a vagueness there. Because look, the rules and procedures are clear in Parliament. Yes. There are two sides in Parliament, left and right.
Government and opposition.
Government and opposition. When you cross to move from the left and you go to right, you lose.
You're writing your own constitution right now.
Yeah, that's the rules of procedure you have in Parliament. If you're elected as a member of Parliament, you are on the side of NRM government. You move from right to left. That's the rules of procedure in Parliament. There are two positions in Parliament. That's where there is a vagueness and
Honorable Kakoza, for your information, the rules of procedure
does not inferior to the Constitution. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
When you talk of a constitution interpretation,
yes.
When Parliament spoke, what do you need to interpret there?
This is what I'm saying. We were not there. We did and made it deliberate that it can be abused. But there comes that the law we put in a multi-party setting, which guides the systems we are governing, the system. That's where there is a bit of a dilemma which we need to highlight. But of course, somebody losing a seat, the constitution is clear. You can be insane. You can be. It's stipulated within the constitution.
The point which I want to make on this issue is that it went for interpretation in the end of the 8th Parliament on the question of certain members. I think there were particularly two cases. There was one case against no, that's not the case. The case against Okecho
and the four Fox
West Budama North, and there's a case also brought by Issa Oto against about 20-something members
Towards the end of the
8th Parliament, and it went for interpretation. Now, from the courts, the basic ruling was the primaries and whatever, they could not determine on that basis. It is when somebody went for nomination series of members lost their seats after nomination. That is what the court came.
No, I think for proper information for listeners, when independents picked form to go and participate in other party activities, you were independent, you were voted as independent, and you join, you pick forms to go and participate in primaries of NRM. You no longer in parliament, you lose your seat. That's where Fox Odoi went against Okech. He said, please, you are picking forms to go and participate in party primaries, but you came in parliament as an independent.
Yes.
And if you are independent, it's clear, because you cannot, because, and that's why it forced, even as let me finish my point.
The case was on. The people the members of parliament lost their seats upon nomination.
No, what I'm trying to say, the ruling Fox Odoi against Okeche, they were even meant to pay the money they had taken by that time.
There was an appeal. I'm telling you, the final position came upon nomination. It came upon nomination, because I know that as a fact, because we were affected also within our party. We had also got some members of the we had one of the petitioners on that second case, which was Issa Oto, was our UPC candidate, but he went and got nominated as an independent, and he ended up losing his seat after nomination.
Of course, by then, because it was the national elections, in primaries he didn't participate. All right, in your primaries he didn't participate.
Well, listeners, this is Spectrum on Radio 1 tonight. MPs expelled by the NRM seek help from the Speaker. Why are they responding the way they are? If their status in Parliament is not under threat, we've got a clarification on that. This petition is antecedent to this expulsion. Our guest tonight, Hon Wilfred Niwagaba, Ndorwa East MP, who was expelled, one of those expelled from the NRM party, Hon James Akena, Lira Municipality MP from the Uganda People's Congress, and Hon James Kakoza, Kabula County MP from the NRM party. You'll be able to call in at some stage and contribute to this discussion.
Can I clarify?
Please do.
I want to inform dear listeners, at least today I've seen a copy of the executive summary of the proceedings and the recommendation of the expulsion of the members.
Yes.
And which I want to put clear on the air here, that what has been recommended in
this document, yes.
Every member, my brother Sereko, Siadora Sechikobo, Barnabas Tinka Simile, Wilfred Niwagaba, and Vincent Chamadid, every member, the disciplinary committee, took him on the cases or on the violation of the rule he made. I want to clear that it was not as Honorable Niwagaba said. Can I finish my point? Yeah. Honorable Niwagaba said, Honorable Niwagaba said that, which I want to put clear to the air, that those who opposed to health budget, no, according to the findings, to this document, which is authentic, they are saying that they didn't accuse. They cannot penalize anybody because let me finish my point. This is a matter that affects me. I know it very well. Let me finish my point. You see, you are not allowed me to finish my point because you are misleading the listeners and viewers. Let me clarify one thing. On 18th of February, when we were served with the complaints by the advocate for NRM called Kandeve, the complaints against me were two. The first one was that I am a member of the Parliamentary Forum on Oil and Gas, and I am among those who disrupted the Speaker during the oil debate, particularly when government was committing clause 9 and affected the proceedings. Number two, willful submission of malicious propaganda that during the budget debate I opposed
the government position on the health budget. And after addressing the press conference to say that MPs who had changed had been bribed. When I got this summary, this particular one,
Yes.
it is entirely different from even the complaints served on us.
So the complaints on you are in writing.
When writing, the complaints served on us, read together with this particular summary which we saw, are completely different. That's why even our complaint to the Speaker of 9th,
Yes.
of 9th April, if you see the attachments of the complaints and you read this particular version of the judgment, totally different. So you can even see, because I think along the way they realized we had no case. So during their final deliberation, they decided to invent cases so that they finally get to the judgment. But these are facts I'm telling you. You can go to the Speaker's chambers, you get our complaints,
Official
very stamped, and see the complaints against us, then read them. No, we are going with this particular finding. No, you don't match at all.
Let me explain to us the discrepancy.
Exactly.
What is telling us?
Because the document I have here, which is from executive summary of the SEC, they are saying on point 341, they are saying each a person, each a member, Niwagaba, him, as his case is saying, there is no first one. They called him on 22nd to appear on the committee, February 2013,
And he didn't show.
and he didn't show. He said he's not going to appear. He has no business with the disciplinary committee of the NRM. And this is true. They said the complaints are here written. They are saying that Niwagaba himself, bullet 1, is saying he engaged in information of cliques within NRM and engaging in intrigue within NRM contrary to the Rule 4.1 Code of Conduct of the Constitution of the party.
What kind of cliques fighting corruption?
I don't know. These are the charges. Explain to us. Yes, this is
a substantive matter.
This is what clique wait, I explain. I read the charges. It's saying so that listeners, because I'm reading what the proceedings in the summary of the executive, what they depended on, which they charged him, which is not. I want to read what these people.
But you need to substantiate this. Constituency of tens of thousands of people. You need to give
It might be helpful if you tell us what Rule 4.1 is.
Yeah, the Code of Conduct.
What does Rule 4.1 say?
Said you must observe if you are engaged in cliques, if you observe in the campaigning anybody, if you observe a position of the party, of the structure organ is taken, and you toe the line, that's the discipline, that's the Code of Conduct.
Let's take a break. We will hear from you later. Let's take a break to get a breather yourself. We'll be back. Please stay tuned to Radio 1.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Legitimate whiskey is different. I am proud that we can now enjoy quality and taste. And style too. I have not felt so original with the liveliness I get each morning after I enjoy legitimate whiskey. Everything seems to be going my way. This is a worthy discovery. Legitimate whiskey is blended from carefully selected Scotch malt, giving it a golden amber appearance with a silky smooth and soothing taste for lasting satisfaction. Legitimate whiskey, a masterfully crafted blend, expertly blended, lighter and styled whiskey. Please enjoy responsibly.
Excuse me, what is this 300 shillings on my bill for?
That is for the tinted candles, madam.
And this 100 shillings?
That is for the air conditioning.
And this 200 shillings?
For the blue walls, ma'am.
I can't believe this!
Why pray for what you don't use or ask for? That's why we at Standard Chartered are introducing the Easy Go account, the first current account of its kind that gives you complete control of your banking charges. For more details, visit a Standard Chartered branch or call 0414-340077.
Would you like to leave me a tip, please?
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90.
Welcome back on Spectrum tonight. MPs expelled from the NRM party seek help from the Speaker. Why are they doing this when their status in Parliament is not under threat? Our guests tonight, Hon Wilfred Niwagaba, Ndorwa East MP, one of those expelled from the NRM party, Hon James Akena, Lira Municipality MP from the Uganda People's Congress, and Hon James Kakoza, Kabula County MP from the NRM party. You will be able to contribute to this discussion through a direct and live phone-in. Honorable Kakoza, talk to us about those rules. It seems the goalposts were in one place and at another stage they moved.
Of course, I think what is important is the committee which sat and what conference they had and where they judged themselves to expel the members. This is what I wanted. Please read which. The second one, they were saying that Honorable Niwagaba willfully intentionally reporting or disseminating false and malicious allegations contrary to Rule 41J on UBC TV of 12th July 2012, he stated that His Excellency the President bribed the NRM MPs to pass the Harris budget. These are the highlights I'm putting across so that the listeners can judge. This is what I am specifically. And then Tinka Semire has his own case. Everybody, according to this document, was judged basing on what the complaints and even other complaints. But all this said, to me, I have no problem with these brothers of mine. If you feel that a party is not doing well, it's a free choice, it's a free exit. I mean,
you're saying they should have resigned?
No, I'm not resigning. You say, me, I'm not interested in your party. I can give an example. We made this constitution of the NRM. I remember very well, with due respect to Honorable Dansa. He said, I've made this constitution of NRM, but me, I'm not going to accept. I'm going to go and make my own party. And indeed he did. So these brothers of mine, if they are not discontented,
they are discontented. They are not contented.
They are not contented, and they feel that the party has a problem, has many problems. I think everybody has a problem.
About reforming it from inside. Can I tell you?
Let me tell you. You see, we must know. This is clear. There is no way every institution, every organization which has discipline that it can survive.
Can I tell you?
You must.
Honorable Kakoza.
Can I finish my point? You might strict to the way how you allow yourself in the rules and within the constitution of that party. You must abide it. If you don't abide it and you feel that it's not good for you, you have a free exit.
Let's say a middle voice. Honorable James, before I come to Honorable Niwagaba, what's your own reading of this? Honorable Niwagaba gives us a different set of charges. They say comes out with a different set. Are the goalposts moving?
I was going to bring a bit of my personal experience because I've had my own difficulties within my party. And this was a case where I got fought leading to the internal fights and leading to the primaries within the party after nomination, and then subsequently reached an extent where a letter was written which effectively was expelling me from the party without the process. At that time we did have, according to our constitution, the disciplinary committee had not been constituted. The rules of the disciplinary committee which needed to pass through National Council did not exist, and that is where I somewhat overreacted, and it was in the media that Akena was almost fighting in the press conference because I refused to be kicked out through the back door.
Right.
I'm saying within the parties.
Yeah,
within UPC. So my experience on this sort of thing, there are certain things where parties sometimes may try in their effort to control, infringe on the rights of others. And that was my personal experience. And up to today, I have not received a formal complaint. In fact, the complaints which were trying to be made was on my reacting to my being expelled through the back door. And that one, of course, if they want evidence, it's in the media, there are videotapes of it and whatever. But the letter, the original letter which effectively expelled me outside the mandate of the party constitution, nobody wants to address it. And So I can sympathize with some of these processes where I needed to be charged, I needed to have an opportunity to address, and in the UPC you start with the disciplinary committee. If you're not satisfied, it goes to the National Council, and then you can appeal to the Delegates Conference as the final arbiter of this sort of dispute. So we still have those issues. I mean, within all the parties, there are those problems. And it's our work as political leaders to really build the institution of the parties. And what is lacking, sorry to say this, what I feel within NRM, the direction of NRM, I find that lacking.
You don't think there's no direction?
Let me make my point.
You don't think NRM has a direction?
Their direction, if I put it in the simplest term, is how to stay in power. Not what is its mission. Its mission was to get to power, and now it is how to maintain power. But that is why on this issue, like on the issue of health, I was 100% together with my brother Niwagaba.
But the whole parliament.
Exactly.
That's why but according to the accusation here, now whichever member, they are not talking about the budget health.
Kakoza. That is why the issue of direction, if our parties are formed on clear basis that this is our struggle in health, this is our struggle in education, whatever, we have a focus. Not the thing that, okay, this issue comes up, we must sit in caucus and decide. I'm joining a party knowing how we are going to champion health services, we're going to champion education, we're going to champion the well-being of the common man.
Those are national issues. Actually, that's what I'm saying.
I belong to a national party. I need a clear vision of how we're going to address this issue. And that is what brings the cohesion.
Can I
not the using of the powers that exist.
But
so that is something which NRM has to think about.
So you think NRM is wielding the budget unfairly?
It is wielding unfairly, but they need to address the fundamental issue of what exactly does NRM stand.
Let me tell you, Edmund, you know, at least the NRM I joined on my own volition, I had one particular characteristic that I liked, merit ideological.
When was this?
When I joined it was in 2005 or thereabout, after its formation. Now, go for bringing matters forward. When we had the budget debate, before we had the budget debate, we all resolved to support the committee on health, the report, which was talking of raising 220 billion. But finally, what the members of the budget committee could find from the budget to add on the health budget was 49 billion. We went for a parliamentary caucus in the State House and agreed to support this 49, of course against the executive's wishes. Now the following day, when we were in the House expecting our colleagues to support this 49 billion, people had made a U-turn without another caucus being held, and really some of us felt.
Can I give you some information?
Now, what happened afterwards, moving matters fast, like Hon Akena is saying, sometime in February, we see a newspaper advertisement calling us to appear before the disciplinary committee. Now, we found it strange, and they mentioned those two charges I've told you about. So we wrote to the secretary of the disciplinary committee to furnish us copies of the charges. My clerk sat at his office on Serena from 8:30 in the morning up to 5 p.m. They refused to accept service.
From morning to sunset?
Yes. My clerk called Jonathan Nalende. So what do? We went to see a lawyer. The lawyer decided to file proceedings in the court based on that summons in the newspaper, because it was showing at least some of the cases. Said no, let's go for judicial review. Now, after going for judicial review, the matter was fixed for 13th May this year. 2 days after, when we were in the court to hear an interim application. That's when we go to the service, me and Honorable Sechku. The lawyer, Kandele, gave us the whole set. The first complaint by Justin Kasoro Mumba, and a second one amending the first one, because mine and Tinkasim and Chamadid were amended, and the subsequent hearing note says Brabra. Now, they again, after that court session, they again served us in the newspaper again, inviting us in the newspaper. Now, our lawyer wrote to them. He said, you see, you are inviting these people to appear, I think it was on 18 something, but we have filed the case against you to challenge the fact of you charging and summoning these people for offences allegedly committed within the principles of Parliament.
Maybe
and
you can decide here that you've never got any invitation, because these people are saying, I was not, let me read it.
Let me conclude. And they said, under your own constitution, Article 12, sub-Article F of the NRM Constitution, it clearly states that once the parties are in court, matters are in court, the disciplinary committee shall stay its proceedings until the court proceedings are over. So he took the letter himself, serving it, of course, was also a problem, but they finally accepted it with the copy to court. Now, the next thing we had was on the newspapers, a communique, you have been expelled.
So maybe to put it clear to the public, you are
very different from the way you
you are saying to the public, because here, what they are accusing you, the committee is saying, they wrote invitation letters to Honorable Niwagaba, requiring him to appear at a sitting of 22nd February 2013. The second letter was 11th March 2013. The third one is 18th March 2013. The fourth one was 26th March 2013. All you are saying that all these invitations, according to your submission, you've never got it. That's what it means. Because according to your submission, these people are saying, we called it to appear in the court.
I've told you the royal governor called the candidate, served me in the court. I don't recall the date, but it was, and that's when I go to the invitation to that time. But for us, the first time to know that things were moving, it was in a new vision, but advert. But I don't know the strange thing when we go to those particular, that bundle. The complaint, the Justin Kasoro Mumba wrote, said, this one offended this particular rule, and the penalty is dismissal. So that to me, it was so programmed.
Can I say
to end somewhere?
To me, my version is different. Go on. Because if I'm called, we know that the Constitution of NRM has a disciplinary committee, and these are people of high integrity. If I mention them here,
let's hear the names.
Those names, I can give them to you. These are people of high integrity, and they are reasonable. There is no way you can say the first one is
Amama Mbabazi.
No.
A man of very high integrity.
No. The first one is
Alhaji Moses Chigongo.
Alhaji Moses Chigongo. Amama Mbabazi is the secretary.
Right Honorable.
Right Honorable Mbaba Mbabazi. Ndorwa Yamkama is a member. Professor Mondo Kagonyera, member. Honorable Mike Kennedy Sebari, member. Honorable Beatrice Wabdea, member. Abarolian Angom, member. Despite all this, if you know, there is one thought that if you don't have any case for us in this, and you are called by police, you don't fear. You just go.
It is not a corrupt police.
Fine, I don't mind whatever it's corrupt. But why don't you come if you are called under your party discipline and you know that the constitution of the party you believe in, you go and listen to what they are telling you. You give in your defense.
Honorable Akena, what would you do?
I can say this. And let me say this.
You can imagine.
No, let me finish my point.
Amama was a member of that committee, and you can see the charges.
Let me finish the charges.
And
build my point. You look at it. Yes. But let me finish my point. And the listeners to listen to us so that they can be able to judge. If I'm a person who is accused, yes, I'm called by the party I believe in, I go and put in my defense. And if it says, if the constitution says you don't have to come when you are in the court to wait for the court to end. Let me finish my point. I gave you time to finish your point. To me, that's when could be the start. And that's why, according to this document, the person who has appeared in the committee, yes, the punishment, Vincent Chamadid is different. 3 months suspension. The person who has not appeared, that's in Sereko, Honorable Niwagaba. The suspension is, I mean, the penalty is different. What does it mean? I want listeners to listen to us. Under the multi-party setting or practice, and I say it on record, there is no institution which has its own members, which abided by that constitution, by rules of the game. When that organization doesn't have discipline, it cannot survive. Be it UPC, be it DP, or be it CP, any party. I can tell you it has happened depending on who is talking about this. Breyer lost, Mbeki lost. These are. Let's hear.
This is Spectrum on Radio 1. You can call it now. Our number is 041-434-8111, 031-226-0390, Spectrum, hello. Hello. Yes, sir, your name? Yes, sir, your name? Yes, sir, you're live on air. Yes. That says that, Mr. Saverino. The subsection J says something totally different. It says a member who leaves. It does not say member it's on who is expelled. It says if that person leaves the political party, these people have not left of their own volition. And Alex Onzima, FDC, both of them, they were expelled by their party, but they never left parliament. There's a precedent. The law respects precedents. But there is another information. Okay, all right. Hello? Hello? Yes, sir, your name? My name is Dennis. Please go ahead, Dennis. You're live on air. Yes, I just want to thank Hon Wilfred Niwagaba for what he's doing. Congratulating what they have achieved so far. And to Secretary Honorable Kakoza, not to mislead the Uganda. We all know what that we are trying to Spectrum, hello. Good evening, your name? I want to
Yes, your name? Yes, Ahmed. Yes, your name? Yes, sir, your name? Yes, your name? Good evening, your name? Alright, our final caller, Spectrum Hello. Okay, final caller. Yes, your name? Good evening, your name? Oh, really? Alright, let's get back to the studio. Honorable James Akena, give us your responses. Hello? Hello? Yes, you're live on there, your name? Samuel, yes? Let's get back to the studio. Honorable James Akena.
The only issue which I want to clarify in what happened in the 8th Parliament, it became operative upon nomination on a different ticket. It was agreed, Article 83,
Subsection G.
yeah. That the principle is clear, but it became operative once he took the nomination. And I just had the ruling a second ago. And that is the defining line.
Yes, I have to give this information to the air. Please do. I think let's not hide under the sun. I can tell Honorable Akena here, they expelled Cecilia Uganda in the party. Yes. Did you contest as a member of that party? Because of indiscipline. I can tell you, Vatican was expelled from FDC. Yes. She stayed in Parliament. She stayed in Parliament. That is another matter. But what I'm saying, the party issue. That's why Niwagaba and his group, when they went for constitutional application, they told them matters of the party are matters of the party. Look what ANC Mbaki had to lose the president.
There was nothing like that.
No, but I'm telling you, what is the practice?
If you're distracting, there's nothing for you to finish and to continue misleading.
What is the practice?
I can tell you one thing. There were issues with Cecilia Uganda, but she was never expelled from the party. She left.
Did she contest as a?
She left and she contested as an independent.
What happened recently in Kenya? What happened recently in Kenya? Yeah, but Kizito was expelled from NRM and he formed his own party. I'm saying, I'm just doing a simple saying. Yes. When you join a party, it's a question of choice. Where you want to have it, you cannot have your choice. If you think that a party, I think let's make the record clear. You go and form your own party and people follow you. Nobody has a pride. Those who have been expelled, nobody has a pride to regain you. Take it for granted. And nobody is regretting that.
decision. Especially considering the manner in which it was taken. But I wanted to be maybe to finish, then I can.
The simple thing, parties are legal entities, and they should be managed according to the rules. There must be natural justice in the processes and grievances
Natural
address.
Yeah, thank you. One, I need to summary. Yes, because it's the question of what amounts to discipline. I thought maybe you would begin with those who steal money, like the President recently talked of those who have been asking for a commission of 200 billion to frustrate Karuma. You would begin with those. But anyway, as long as I would not tolerate indiscipline personally, and I do not condone it, but what is indiscipline? What is the case of indiscipline against an individual, and how do you bring it? The party must follow its constitution and the rules and everything. Let me finish with Severino. Let me finish with Severino. Yes, of course, his interpretation is Akena to under. But also, I would like him to know the type of multipartism we are in Uganda. Yes. It's not the proportional multipartism representation. And when he talks of caucus, yes, but for your information, the NRM caucus, by the time I was expelled, had not had caucus rules. We were trying to make them from Changwan's recently, and the second, no, they were not there. Yes, so it becomes difficult to even say that you came in a caucus. Because what would be happening is a weekly system. But there is none. Just before we go.
For fairness of the public who are listening to us, let's be clear and be honest. You've said that many times. Many times. Yes. And I will say to okay, before we go, there is no institution, even the rule. I think you've said that many times, and yes, it's really. Let's be clear. I don't want your party. I formed mine. Ruto. Okay, you said that. Before we go, finally, before we go, Rebecca Kadaga at one time almost recalled Parliament. Is that discipline or is it indiscipline? Or do you expel her? No. The Speaker of Parliament, when he called, they had petition, and he said those people who are petitioning, she changed her mind. We want to go. Thank you very much, dear guest. Hon Wilfred Niwagaba, Ndorwa East MP, expelled, one of those expelled from the NRM party. Thank you for coming to Spectrum tonight and putting your case so forcefully there. Hon James Akena, Lira Municipality MP from the Uganda People's Congress, who refused to be expelled. Hon James Kakoza, Kabula County MP from the NRM party. Thank you for tuning in. I've been your host, Edmund. So Spectrum will be back tomorrow. Sunlight, it's freshness that stays with you all day.
Try the new range of Sunlight 2-in-1 washing powders for sensational cleaning and all day.